Hey, everyone, it's Rob Ryder. Today's Sunday, February 25th, 2018. Here recently, I've been doing videos on things like trying to send mail, officially, official business of the United States, officially, by official mail, to the government of the United States. Uh, and that's in the process right now. Unfortunately, to do it, I had to get some priority mail supplies, and they didn't have the labels that I wanted to use at the post office, so I had to order them, and I'm kind of waiting for them to come in. I didn't want to do it at the post office. I want to do it from my house and have them come here and pick it up and do the whole 9 yards. Under the idea that priority mail is a form of first class mail, and they pick it up at your house and they deliver it, and it's tracked the whole way, so they have a record of it being mailed and it being delivered, which is really the definition of certified mail. Uninsured first class mail, proof of mailing and proof of delivery. And so you don't do it with the certified sticker that they give you. I think it's a 3800 form. You do it a different way. Again, that's all for another video. That's why that isn't mixed with this. This is all by itself because a man was nice enough to share some documents with me that I had never seen before. Having to do with, quote unquote, the birth certificate, which, to me means, well, what are you talking about? Because I have documents that none of them say birth certificate on it. One says certified copy of record of birth. The other one says certificate of live birth. But neither say they're a birth certificate. So when people say, they had their birth certificate authenticated, I don't really know what that means. But now I got some documents to look at. So let's see what these documents actually have to tell us, such as the title of the video, time of birth, and other errors and omissions. And, is it wise to authenticate your demise? Because if you look at the record, there's going to be errors and omissions, and, you're talking about getting it authenticated. So what is stated in the legal record of your birth? We're going to have a chance to look at one. So, just real quickly, Stop that. So here is a authentication, apostille, I guess. What's the proper name of the thing? State of Michigan, Department of State Registrar certification. I, Ruth Johnson, Secretary of State of the State of Michigan and custodian of the Great Seal of the state, hereby certify that Glenn Copeland, whose attestation is affixed to the annexed instrument, was on the date thereof the duly elected or appointed and qualified state registrar, and all official acts as such should be given full faith and credit in all courts of justice and elsewhere. It's got the Great Seal. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto affixed my signature and Great Seal of the state at Lansing, this 20th day of February, in the year of our Lord, 2018. Year of our Lord, Rosita. We were just talking about that yesterday. That the architect of the Capitol, when they sent a certificate out with a flag that says the flag had flown over the Capitol, it used to have the choice of how you would have the date. And he issued an order said no longer can say year of our Lord. Right? It just has to be the normal style date. It's got absolutely nothing to do with this, but let's see what this thing says. Hey, we got some fine print here. I wonder if we can get closer. Oh, hang on a second. Okay, so what that document says in the fine print at the bottom is this certification attests only the authenticity of the signature of the official who signed the affixed document, the capacity in which that official acted, and where appropriate, the identity of the seal or stamp which the document bears. this certification is not intended to imply that the contents of the document are correct. Let me read that again. This certification is not intended to imply that the contents of the document are correct, nor that they have been approved, have the approval of the state of Michigan. All right, so, you put this document on the front of your paperwork and think that, okay, well, I just had it authenticated, and I'm going to send this off to, Tillerson now, Secretary of State, have him authenticate it. Well, what's he going to do? He's going to authenticate this seal. It won't have anything to do with what's on the document. They're just authenticating the seal, and that the person who did the act had the authority at the time to do the act, but not that it's correct. And so, you're running around with these things that have been authenticated. You had better look at the document to see if it's correct. And that's what we're going to do. Because Joe was able to get 3 different documents. Right? Now, this says certificate of live birth. This says certificate of live birth. This says certificate of live birth. 1, 2, 3 different documents. We'll look at them closer. I'll enlarge them. I'm just showing you right now, right, that there's 3 different documents. 1, 2, and 3. All saying they're a certificate of live birth. None of them saying they're a birth certificate. But when you go to get the stuff, they say, well, you want your birth certificate. Well, what you really want is you want the record of your birth, and you want it to be proper. You want them to certify your birth record. That would be your birth certificate. So just real quick, this is what he has, right? And I don't have anything that looks, like this on these nice pieces of paper. What I have is this is my certificate of live birth, right? It wasn't on a piece of paper by its, like this. It's just by itself. Like this. And it has the same information that his does, except mine has this certified copy of record on the bottom. But I don't have a birth date, right? So there's no birth number. I got a local file number, but there's no number here. And we'll see on one of his, they got a long number here, but not on the other ones. The county, the village, full name of the institution where you're born, the usual residence of the mother. So they want the state, the county, the township, mailing address. Right, mailing address, 4824 Franklin Street, St. Auburn. Auburn what? Right, that's the mailing address. It doesn't say where it's going. It just, they say the mailing address is 4824 Franklin Street, Auburn. You say, well, that must be an error. I don't think I need that there. I might need it later. Name of father, name of mother, name of child, right? Robert Allen Ritluski, Delbert Chester Ritluski, Elsie Mae Dorsey. It's got a seal in the background. It's got this attestation. I, Stephen Toth, the clerk of the county of Bay, not Bay County, right? Here it says Bay County. He's saying he's county of Bay. And the circuit court thereof, the same being a court of record having a seal, to hereby certify that the following is a true copy of the above record now remaining in my office, and the whole thereof, viz. Right? And there's nothing after the viz. In testimony whereof I have hereunto set my hand and affixed the seal of the circuit court on some date in 1984. I needed to get a certified copy way back in the day. So, right, whereof viz. There's nothing after the viz. We're on this other document, which is a certified copy of record of birth from the same guy just some years earlier. This guy must have been the clerk of the county of Bay for quite some time, because this is like from 1963, and this is from 1984, and it's the same guy, Stephen Toth. The boy's in the dirt for a long time. So, see, this says it's a certified copy of record of birth. Well, this is a record of birth. But these other documents are calling birth certificates that, that Joe has. They're not the same as this. And what does this one say? All right, State of Michigan, this says County of Bay. Now, the other one said Bay County. Now, this says County of Bay, right? Here, it said Bay County, Bay City, Michigan. These are all the different venues that this applies to. And this is State of Michigan, County of Bay. So the State of Michigan stayed the same, but the County of Bay did. Although that's got a comma there, so it's like State of Michigan, County of Bay, all being one thing. These don't have any comma. No, they had a comma. Okay, well, maybe a State of Michigan, Bay County. I don't know what the comma means there. But forgetting that for a minute, let's just read it. I, Stephen Toth, clerk of the County of Bay, in the circuit court thereof, the same being a court of record, having a seal, do hereby certify that the following is a copy of the record of birth of Robert Allen Ritlewski, now remaining in my office, and the whole thereof, viz., right, there's that viz again, and now it's got child. So they put something after the viz. I did all that just to like show, look, they said viz, and there was nothing after it. They didn't finish filling it out, what record it is. Now, back to this one. What is this saying? That Stephen Toth, the clerk of the County of Bay, has just testified that the record, a copy, this is a copy of the record of birth of Robert Allen Ritlewski, now remaining in my office. The record of birth is still in his office, which means the state never got it. Right? Record of birth, for me, now remaining in his office. Well, how come he didn't send it to the state? And there you are, right? So this was back in 1963. I was born in 1958. So approximately 5 years after I was born, I got this piece of paper that came in a little manila envelope that just has Robert Allen on the front. And, I don't know how I got it. My mom and dad gave it to me, but I still have it. And I look at it quite often. It's like, well, this says it's in the County of Bay. It never went anywhere. So I've never really done anything with this after that. I've tried to record it a couple places and didn't have much success and moved on to other things. But here we are today, and Joe sends me his. So we're going to take a closer look at Joe's papers and see what they say. But what I'm going to have to do then is pause for a second. Be right back. Okay, so again, this is the one I got from the county, right? I didn't go to the state to get like a state record. This was a record from the county, which is similar to this one that Joe got, which is a record from his county. Except his is on a bond paper now, because he did this just here in the last couple of years. He's born in 1967, right? Mine was from 58. He's from 67. Nevertheless, relatively old records, and this is apparently they made some changes what they're doing. This is a permanent record. Blah, separate, return, must be, right? So it would be, you really can't tell what that says, but mine doesn't have that on there. There's no birth number. But let's start at the top. Look at this thing. It says here, United States of America. And this is the one from the county. Because at the bottom, it's got the state seal in this corner. And over here, it's got the county seal. And it has a watermark in the center. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like it shows up pretty good. It says State of Michigan, County of Macomb. In United States of America. Well, United States of America, without the being in front of it as, part of the proper name, just United States of America, that is a kingdom of King George III and his successors. If you look at the Treaty of Peace, 1783, and just read the first paragraph where King George is writing who he is and who the other players are involved in this transaction, he says that he is, the Prince of United States of America, where the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union and the First article says that the style of the Confederacy shall be the United States of America. So you have two different entities, the United States of America and United States of America. One's King George's jurisdiction, the other one's a republic. King George's is the democracy. We're in the democracy right now, right? Because this is from County of Macomb, State of Michigan, which goes with United States of America, which is a kingdom of King George III. And so technically, if you're doing these things and you need to get an apostille and they say, well, what's the foreign country it's going to? You could say it's going to Great Britain. What else they call it? United Kingdom, right? Because United States of America is part of the United Kingdom. It isn't the United States of America. It's not the United States of America. Okay, so this is the same as mine. Got the same information on it. It's got a couple of seals. Got the state of Michigan on one side and the county of Macomb on the other. And it says, this certifies that the above is a true copy of the facts recorded on the certificate of the person named hereon, as filed in the Macomb County Clerk's Office. Well, now it's called Macomb County. Here it's County of Macomb. Right? What's the Macomb County Clerk's Office? And why isn't it the same name as County Macomb? Well, because they're two different venues. Warning, this document is printed on security paper, watermark paper, and contains security fibers. Do not accept without verifying the presence of the watermark. This document contains a security background, embossed seals, and thermochromic ink. So the seals should be raised. They're embossed. It's got a watermark. Pretty obvious. There it is. There's the watermark. Unfortunately, if you ask me, this is the wrong jurisdiction. Wrong venue. State of Michigan, County of Macomb, certification of vital record. Right? Because they call what they call the proper thing, they call it a Michigan birth record, not state of Michigan, right? State of Michigan, County of Macomb is in the United States of America, and that's King George's jurisdiction. I don't know what else to tell you. If it says County of, you're in King George's jurisdiction. Okay, let's look at another one here. What other one did he have to share? Okay, so now this one here. All right, this just says State of Michigan. There's no United States of America. There's no County of Macomb. There's none of that. And it's actually written here. I have to go back and see where they wrote the other one in a second. Certificate of live birth, right? But this one has a birth number. 123-67082252. Local file number, 1920. The other one had a local file number. It didn't have the birth number. Now, this is the one that he said they call a book entry. He got this from the state. So he went to the place in the Lansing, which is the capital of Michigan, to the Department of Health and Human Resources, I believe, which is where the Vital Records Office is, and got this document and the next one we're going to look at. He didn't get it at the county. He got it at the state. He says you can get them online, right? You can do it online, but he actually went down there to get it. Which, I guess I would too, knowing what I know now, because you're going to have errors to point out, and you might as well do it while you're there. Have them be your witness. So this says, I hereby certify the above as a true and correct representation of the birth facts on file with the state of Michigan, issued from the Michigan Central Birth Certification System. Issued from the Michigan Centralized Birth Certification System. Well, in that system, he's got a birth number. But in the other one we looked at, not that one. Papers. Where did it go? Hang on a second. Okay, hope this works a little better. Let's see. So we're looking at Joe's papers. right? Certificate of live birth, United States of America, no birth number after 123. Certificate of live birth, no United States of America, just state of Michigan, with a birth number. What did this say? This says state of Michigan, county of Macomb at the top. This one just says state of Michigan. United States of America, no United States of America. Birth number, no birth number. Okay, let's go down the bottom of the pages now and see what they have to say. All right, so this one's from the county. And this one is from the Office of the State Registrar in the state of Michigan. The other one's from the county. Make that just a little bit smaller. Okay. So the state says, I certify that the above is true and correct representation of the birth facts on file with the state of Michigan, issued from the Michigan Centralized Birth Certification System. And this one has a birth record. So the state says they got a birth record number for you, or a file number. Let's see what they call it on the other one. And this one says, this one's from the county, certifies that the above is a true copy of the facts recorded on the certificate of the person named hereon as filed in the Macomb County Clerk's Office. And this one doesn't have a birth number behind it, but it's got something up here, right? Some handwritten note that I'm sure it's goes to something. It's the other file of some kind. You got a local file, 1920, and then a number 3082. So just on these two documents, they're different, right? Which one is your, if you had them both, well, which one is your birth certificate? How can you tell? Neither of them call themselves birth certificates. They call themselves certificates of live birth. Crazy, ain't it? Okay, now let's look at the other one, right? So this is the two that kind of look the same. They're taken from the same piece of paper, just put onto a form, and then, other stuff written about it. As opposed to this other one, which says, important information, this certificate is valuable and legal document. Please keep it in a safe place. So if you were asking me, well, which one is the official one? I'm going to say this one is. This certificate is a valuable and legal document. Please keep it in a safe place. He said they call this the electronic form. They may recognize it when you say long form, but it's not, what you can see is it's not the document itself like this, right? It's an extract of the record onto another document. It's like an abstract. So errors or omissions should be reported to the State Vital Records Office within 30 days of issue by calling this phone number. Stop right there. What does issue mean? You know that issue means birth, right? So within 30 days of birth, if there was an error in this record, it should have been pointed out by somebody. We should go and see if we can find errors in the record. Now, to get these records, because this one here and the other one from the state registrar, Joe got on the same day at the same window doing the same thing. Two different forms, a book form and an electronic form. But this is the one they say is legal, right? And what name do you use in legal matters? You use your full legal name. And Joseph Moore is not Joseph full legal name. So there's an error. That's not his full legal name. But that's exactly what Social Security would say your legal name is. Social Security says your legal name is your first name and your last name. They don't consider your middle name your legal name. And they say if you have a given name and you don't think it's your middle name, then you need to say it's your first name. So, Robert Allen Retluski, if I don't say Robert Allen is my given name and my first name, then Allen would get left out by Social Security when they were determining what my legal name is. The state of Michigan is doing the exact same thing. When he went to get this, he had to give him his ID from Michigan, which has your full legal name on it, and it's, Robert Allen Retluski. So where's the Allen? How can this be legal if it doesn't have the middle name on it? When your driver's license has, state ID in my case, has your full legal name on it. So gotcha. Let's continue on. Right? It's got an LF number. That's a local file, but not a CF number. Now, is that CF number the other little number we saw written up in the corner on one of these guys? This one here? I don't know. Child's name, Joseph William Eric Moore. Well, there's his middle name. Or is Joseph William Eric his given name? Since they're saying we don't consider your middle name to be your legal name, if you want William Eric to be part of your legal name, you need to say it's your given name. Ain't that something? State file number over here in the corner, right? 121-0082252. Well, that ain't quite the same as this. This was 123-67-082252. And this is the other document that's supposed to have been certified by the state. Right? This one here, a little bit difficult to do all this. This one here is United States, so we're not talking about this one. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this one for now. Because this one came from the county, and we're done. And the difference with this is it doesn't have a birth number, and it's got this 382 written above local file. And I'm just wondering, is that this other CF number the other form was talking about? But right here. But this number, 0082252, is really close, but not quite to 082252. This was 123-67-082252. This says it was issued from the Michigan Centralized Birth Certification System. Where does this one say it came from? Hey, issued from the Michigan Centralized Birth Certification System. Is that what the other one said? I better look at that again. Michigan Centralized Birth Certification System. Check. Michigan Centralized, okay, same place. And yet, this one's got a different file number on it. And it doesn't have a CF number. And it doesn't have his full legal name at the top, right? Because the address is his address, but they didn't put his full legal name. So this is his address now. It's not like when he was born address. No, it's his address now. It's just like on his driver's license, except his driver's license has Joseph William Eric Moore, and this doesn't. But that's not all. Time of birth, not recorded. Well, how can you not record a time of birth unless you weren't born? Then you wouldn't have a time of birth. Right? Apparently he wasn't born alive. Jeepers. I wonder if they'd consider you dead. But that's not all. Mother's current legal name, not recorded. But what was her legal name? Full name before being married? Well, it was Sharon Lee Burley. But now she doesn't have one. Does that mean mother and child died at the hospital? Right? This is her demise. This is a death certificate. And way back when, now 5-6 years ago, when some brothers went up to Alpena with a certificate of live birth, that we got from the county recorder, we said, let's go and record these in the Register of Deeds office and claim them. And when they took it over to do that, and they showed the Register of Deeds, she looked at it and said, now, again, it says certificate of live birth at the top. She says, well, we consider this a death certificate. And the guy started to question her a bit, and she understood what she said, that, hey, these, apparently these guys aren't one of us, right? So be quiet what you say. No, they consider it a death certificate. Well, this would be why. There's no time of birth. There's no mother's current legal name, yet this is supposed to have come from the same frickin' record. I hereby certify the above as a true and correct representation of the birth facts on file with the state of Michigan, issued from the Michigan Centralized Birth Certification System. I hereby certify that the above is true and correct representation of the birth facts on file with the state of Michigan, issued from the Michigan Centralized Birth Certification System. And these things, they got, QSIP numbers or whatever you want to call them. They got some kind of registration number on them. One after the other. All right, 52 and 51. So they got the same blah, blah at the bottom. Certified by, Glenn Copeland. That's what the apostille was for. Certified by Glenn Copeland. AFS. Does it say AFS on both? 3227942. 32279. So all that's the same, whatever AFS stands for. Got the same seals in the corners. Right? To the left is the registrar. To the right is the Great Seal of the state of Michigan. But this one, which is an electronic, aka long form, whatever, it's got some errors in it. No time of birth, no name for the mother, no CF, a different file number than the other form, the book entry form that he had. It's not in his full legal name. And this certificate is a valuable and legal document. Well, then it's fraud. It's errors and omissions. It's whatever you want to call it. Somebody's committing a crime because they're stealing your identity. Okay, and then that was, that's all the information that goes on. So all I can tell you is, hey, this isn't, this is pretty telling that there's something going on at the state of Michigan. And what would you do about it? Well, you call this frickin' phone number and say, hey, I got errors. We need to talk. I don't know that you could do this over the phone, or, you would actually have to send them a copy and talk to somebody and say, look, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Trying to do it by the mail would probably be crazy, or drive down there or something, but, start with calling the phone number. So there's the errors, right? This is the thing they call the long form. And I believe this is the thing that most people would want to get authenticated and get an apostille on and send to the Secretary of State of the United States to get him to authenticate the fact that the guy down here, well, first of all, this guy here is going to be authenticated by the state, which is the other piece of paper we saw, the big gold seal, and then that will be authenticated by Tillerson. But none of it will authenticate the facts on the frickin' document. Just that the people that did it had the power to do so. Right? It's going to authenticate that Glenn Copeland's got some errors in his records, and he better get them fixed or his ass is going to prison. He's depriving you of your rights under color of law by a simulated legal process. Because this form ain't legal and it's supposed to be. And it says it's issued from on file with the state of Michigan. I actually got to get these two out and put them next to each other and read it. On file with the state of Michigan. Yeah, they read the same. Issued from the Michigan Central Birth Certification System. Well, how can that be when this one has a birth number and the other one doesn't? This has got a local file number, but it doesn't have that CF number, but the other one is looking for it. So what the hell is a CF number? Jeepers, Right? What the heck is this CF number? My point is there shouldn't be any blanks, right? So um, I'm not at all sure what they're going to do about it. I'm just saying, hey, there's things wrong, and it's time to find out what's going on. Now, he's got a few other documents I want to show that went into getting these, so hang on just a second. Okay, just real quick so I can make public record for the man. He does have, from the hospital, Mount Clemens General Hospital, which it's on the record, that's where he was born. What time he was born at? 9:16 a.m., so he was born. Never mind the fact that, it's not on the certificate of live birth. It's on the little thing they put on the end of his bed. Okay, so he had gone to get these, and he did it at the agency itself, the Department of Human and Health, something like that, in Michigan. It's not the Secretary of State, it's the Department of Human and Health Services or something. You got to fill out just a real simple application for certified copy. See, this says Michigan birth record, but that isn't what they gave him. Right, this says certificate of live birth. It doesn't say it's a birth record. Nowhere on here does this thing say it's a birth record. Right? Yet this says that's what you're asking for. Just something else to keep in mind. Yada, yada, yada. Fill the top out. Okay, and then purpose for requesting the record. You were supposed to put something in here. He found out later. And I would put on there investigation of errors and omissions. Right? Ensuring the record is correct. That's why I'm doing it. Eligibility. Well, he was the person named on the record. That's simple enough. Information needed. The date of birth. Your sex. Where you were born. Place of birth, hospital, city, county. Okay? All right, child's full name. Well, if that's the child's full name, that isn't what was on top of the paper when they were done, right? Mother's birth name, father's birth name. Now, see, they didn't ask for their full names. They said the birth name. So what is the birth name? Would that be Sharon Lee and Gary Michael? Right? That's like your given name. What do they mean by birth name? Mother's adopted birth name. I guess they mean the full name. Nevertheless, this application current name is different than how the birth name appears in the record provide info, if the applicant's current name. Right? Shouldn't be different. Pay the fees. Make your check to the state of Michigan. And then this is where they're supposed to, for accounting, right? And I don't see any seal on there. There's nothing on there that shows what office you got this from. Right? I don't see how they can call that legal. Right? But it really isn't. I mean, this is the point. They're not doing anything legal. You didn't get a Michigan birth record, right? You got shipped from the state of Michigan. Right? Look at these documents again. What's at the top? State of Michigan. State of Michigan. Right? Where's the Michigan birth record you're talking about? That's what they're hiding. State of Michigan. The other one was State of Michigan, County Macomb. But none of them are, Michigan. I want a Michigan birth record. Show it to me. Okay. What else did he get? Let's see what other ones he got. This is really the same thing as I remember, except he had written in. No, same thing. Oh, it's just that they called here. The reason I want to show it, they called one the book copy. The book copy one is the one that has looks like the one they took out of an old record and just copied it on there, not the electronic copy, where they've actually taken the information off of the one and entered it into another system and apparently forgot a few things. It's the old fat finger fuck up. Fingers too fat, hit the wrong key. Oh, hey, we just killed you with a stroke of a pen. Okay, now he said, Joe, because he got it, right? They gave him this correction form. I can't remember why he got the correction form right now off the top of my head, but they had, right? Application to correct or change a Michigan birth record. Okay, birth record, Michigan, birth record. Mail application of proper fee to Vital Records Changes, P.O. Box, something or other, Lansing, Michigan, da-da-da-da-da. You need to send it there first class mail. Official business. Something like that. Or you need to call this phone number over here and say, hey, there's errors in my records. What are we going to do about it? And they got it, hey, they got an email address. So there's lots of ways to do it. But starting with putting your information in, person on the record, type of change, correct birth record information for person under the age of 1, correct birth record information for person age 1 to 5, and correct birth record information for person over the age of 6. Well, that's who we would be. We're over 6. It didn't say 6 to 16, no, just over 6. Then again, maybe it's under the age of 1 because it was wrong from the beginning. It's like, well, which one am I doing? I need to go back to the beginning. So we may have to ask a few questions to actually get them to tell us everything we need to know. But it's obvious there's errors in the record. Information needed to locate the record to be changed. Name at birth. State file number. Why is that number different on the one? One started with 121, the other one starts with 123. The state has got some questions to answer. Okay, so da-da-da-da-da, that's pretty simple. I'm just saying for myself, I don't know if I try to do it by the mail because, you can't answer any questions. You can't come to they're going to assume you meant things that maybe you didn't mean because, one question wasn't asked or one answer given. Change is requested. Right? So, time of birth. Information as it should appear. Well, whatever the birth time is. Mother's legal name. Blank, as it should appear. Well, the way it did before she was married. That's still her legal name because when you get married, if you look at a marriage license, they're making a partnership of two people, two persons. But with the woman, normally, they use a middle initial in her name, and so they create this legal fiction that has the man's full legal name and her name with a middle initial, comma, husband and wife. That's a legal fiction. It's not a marriage. They just created a partnership. Sign it, date it, da-da-da, 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 right? So I guess what I would do is, instead of worrying about this one, is you would call them and say, I need to have a correction form. Where do I find one? And have them send one to you and see what they say. That was the front, back. What's this one here? Because he had to do one for each of the records, as I remember now. Yeah. This is where they said he needed to put something in. And so they said it was the electronic. That was a long form. They called it the electronic. Right? Because it's not just taking the copy and making a copy. It was actually entered into a system. So this is the form to fill out that he did while he was there. He paid the rush. He could get it in 2 hours because he was there, got it. And you saw what he got. And what he got was evidence that they don't have his full legal name on record, that they are using a different file number, Then this one, birth number. Doesn't have a CF number. It's got a different number. Don't have a time of birth, so you're never born. Your mom doesn't have a current legal name. Well, why would that be? Well, because she's deceased. Mom and baby died at the hospital. Or she disappeared. One of the two. I don't know what to say. I just know it's not there. But they're both saying they got the information from the same record. So something is wrong here, folks. And they need to figure it out. All right, that's what I wanted to show you, right? If this is what you're taking to have an apostille put on, you're just having authenticated that you're dead. Right? So, time of birth and other errors and omissions. Is it wise to authenticate your demise? No. It's good to have the record. I'm not saying that's wrong. No, take the record now that you have it and go back and get the errors fixed. Make them fix the damn record. Ask them, what other types of records do you have for me? I want all records that have anything to do with this event. Right? Because you saw the one, they just wrote a number at the top. Well, where is that at, right? That's another file someplace. You want to see that file. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. You all have a great day, and we'll be back to the post office and things like that soon to figure out if that's the proper way to, because if the state vital register's office isn't going to fix the record, then we're going to have to apply for an arrest warrant for offenses against the United States and have them arrested. And to do that, we'd have to use official mail. We'll see if that works. Okay, see y'all. Take care.